And shalom. Welcome to Cover with Jeremy Pyers.
Yep.
And
Callan Tires. And
so today we're going to be reading, part 14
yep.
of the book of Enoch,
Yeah.
which is
But-
going to be chapters 95 through 100 out of the Eth Sefer.
So this is a free page one.
Yeah. And welcome everybody in chat, and welcome to all those who are unable to watch live.
Oh.
But I go live pretty much every Sunday evening
Did
about
I
this
forget
time.
Anything?
Right. But I go live Sunday evenings about this time. And all right, let's begin.
Wait.
So.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So, chapter 95 of the book of Enoch. Oh, that my eyes were clouds of water, that I might weep over you, and pour forth my tears like rain, and rest from the sorrow of my heart. Who has permitted you to hate and to transgress? Judgment shall overtake you, ye sinners. The righteous shall not fear the wicked, because Elohim will again bring them into your power, that you may avenge yourselves, of them according to your pleasure. Woe to you who shall be so bound by excretions that you cannot be released from them. The remedy being far removed from you on account of your sins. Woe to you who recompense your neighbor with evil, for you shall be recompensed according to your works. Excuse me. Woe to you, false witnesses, you who aggravate iniquity, for you shall suddenly perish. Woe to you, sinners, for you reject the righteous, for you receive or reject those who do iniquity, and their yoke shall prevail over you. So this is basically just going over what we have been. It's basically what's in the book of Daniel, the book of Revelation. It's all over scriptures. This is just explaining the end times and the judgment that's going to come to these sinners who don't obey Yah's laws and his commands, which is also his Torah. Chapter 96. Wait and hope, you righteous, for suddenly shall sinners perish from before you, and you shall exercise dominion over them, according to your will. In the day of sufferings of sinners, your offspring shall be shall be elevated and lifted up like eagles. Your nest shall be more exalted than that of the Avest. You shall ascend and enter into the cavities of the earth, and into the clefts of the rocks forever, like conies from the sight of the wicked. Who shall groan over you and weep like sirens? You shall not fear those who trouble you, for restoration shall be yours. A splendid light shall shine around you, and the voice of tranquility shall be heard from heaven. Woe to you, sinners, for your wealth makes you resemble Kodeshim. But your hearts reproach you that you are sinners. This world shall testify against you for the remembrance of crime. Woe to you who feed upon the glory of the grain, and drink the strength of the deepest spring, and in your power tread down the humble. Woe to you who drink water at pleasure, for suddenly shall you be recompensed, consumed and withered, because you have forsaken the foundation of life. Woe to you who act iniquitously, fraudulently, and blasphemously. There shall be a remembrance against you for evil. Woe to you, powerful, who with power strike down righteousness, for the day of your destruction shall come. At that very time, many and good days shall be the portion of your righteousness, at the period of your judgment. Chapter 97. The righteous are confident that sinners will be disgraced and perish in the day of iniquity. You shall yourselves be conscious of it, for El Elyon will remember your destruction, and the angels shall rejoice over it. What will you do, sinners? And where will you fly in the day of judgment, when you shall hear the words of the prayer of the righteous? You are not like them who in this respect witness against you. You are associates of sinners. In those days shall the prayers of the righteous come up before Yahweh, when the day of your judgment shall arrive, and every circumstance of your iniquity be related before the great and holy one. Your faces shall be covered with shame, while every deed strengthened by crime shall be rejected. Woe unto you, sinners, who in the midst of the sea and on dry land are those against whom an evil record exists. Woe to you who squander Woe to you who squander silver and gold, not obtained in righteousness, and say, we are rich, possess wealth, and have acquired everything which we can desire. Now then, will we do whatsoever we are disposed to do, for we have amassed silver, our barns are full, and the husbandmen of our families are like overflowing water. Like water shall your falsehood pass away. Your wealth will not be permanent, but shall suddenly ascend from you, because you have obtained it all iniquitously. To extreme malediction shall you be delivered up. So this is talking about all those who, greedily hold up wealth, and, they have millions and billions and trillions of dollars while people are lying in the streets looking for a place to sleep. The same people that'll walk by these people and not even give them a dime when they have millions. The same people that'll give to companies that'll support a murder in the womb and all that nonsense. They'll support that. No problem. Anyway, I digress. It's an evil world out there, Mishpaha, and it's only getting worse every day, every week, every month. And we're getting closer to that day. And now I swear to you, crafty as well as simple ones, that you, often contemplating the earth, you men, clothe yourselves more elegantly than married women, and both together more so than a woman, and more colored than a girl. Interesting, huh? Everywhere in majesty, in magnificence, in authority, and in silver. But gold, purple, honor, and wealth like water, flow away. Your erudition, therefore, and wisdom are not theirs. Thus shall they perish, together with their riches, and with all their glory, and with all their honors. While with disgrace, with slaughter, and in extreme penury, shall their ruachoth be thrust into a furnace of fire. I have sworn to you, sinners, that neither mountain nor hill has been or shall be subservient to women. Neither in this way has crime been sent down to us upon earth, but men of their own heads have invented it, and greatly shall those who give it efficiency be execrated. Barrenness shall not be previously inflicted on women, but on account of the work of her hands she shall die childless. There's a lot in these verses here. I have sworn to you, sinners, by the Holy and the Great One, that all your evil deeds are disclosed in the heavens, and that none of your oppressive acts are concealed in secret. Think not in your minds, neither say it in your hearts, that every crime is not manifested and seen. In heaven it is daily written down before El Elyon. Henceforward shall it be manifested, for every act of oppression which you commit shall be daily recorded, until the period of your condemnation. So all the ones who think, they're doing all these things behind people's backs and in secret and think that no one sees what they're doing, there's going to be a record of everything you do that's written down. And when the day of Yah comes, you're going to have to answer for those. None of us are perfect. I know by far I'm not perfect, not at all. And we can only try, and that's why we get covered in the blood of Messiah, because we do our best to follow his laws and commands, and not follow men. Everybody slips up. Nobody's perfect. But these are specifically for the ones who know what they're doing is wrong, and they're purposefully deceiving people and swindling them and all kinds of stuff. Hey, Woe to you, simple ones, for you shall perish in your simplicity. To the wise you will not listen, and that which is good you shall not obtain. Now thenceforth know that you are destined to the day of destruction, nor hope that sinners shall live, but in process of time you shall die. For you are not marked for redemption. So this is for the simple-minded ones that, the ones that don't listen, the ones who sin, the ones, the ones that get talked to and they're just like, nope, I'm not going to listen to that. Nope, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. For you are not marked for redemption, but are destined to the day of great judgment, to the day of distress, and the extreme ignominy of your souls. So, for the lack of knowledge, my people are destroyed. That's why, you can't just be sitting on the fence. There is no fence. You're either on one side or the other. If you're sitting on the fence, you're not on the right side. There's no in between. there's only a dash between good and evil. Think about that. This is why it's so important to spread His word and study it, and test it, pray, fast. Prayer and fasting is the most important of everything in studying His word for yourself, not following men. Like, it's easy to listen to a guy on the screen. Like, I'm not saying, you shouldn't do that at all. No. Otherwise, how would any of us be getting, any of us producers, doing things like this, trying to spread His word? How would we be able to get it out, it's good to support your brothers and sisters, watch their videos. I do. I channel hop. And it's good to hear people's points of view on things. Not all of us are going to agree with everything, and that's just how it is, because everything's been so obscured and hidden from us. But we can gain knowledge off each other and help each other out. Like, if we don't agree on things, and it's obvious one or the other or both are not going to change their mind, then, dust off your feet. Make amends. It's all good. Keep going. If you follow Yah, His Torah, His commands, follow Messiah, and accept Him as our high priest and king and brother under Yahweh, then we are brothers and sisters in Messiah. It doesn't matter race, color, creed, bloodline, whatever. If you're doing your best to follow Yah, that's all you need. We're brothers and sisters. I just see too many things about, like, oh, you can't say Amen, and oh, you can't say hallelujah, and this and that, and another thing, you don't call your children kids, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, people nitpick at too many things that, like, really don't have anything to do with salvation, honestly. I mean, yes, it's good to know these things, but if you're just going to sit and pick at somebody because they say, oh yeah, my kids did this. Oh, they're not kids, they're not goats. Well, yeah, no kidding. Just like, every single day of the week is named after a pagan god. Every single month is named after a pagan god. Not just Saturnalia and this and that. That's the whole thing. Like, the whole entire English language is occultist spellcasting language. That's what how it was created. So everything we say has a double, triple, quadruple meaning, even more. The thing is to us that speak English, like, we, and no other language, we don't really have a choice. So we have to take what we know and work with it, and quit pointing at splinters because of words and pronunciations and titles and this and that and another thing. If someone's denying Messiah, we should be going and trying to show them how they're wrong. If someone's denying His Torah and His commandments, we should try to be showing them where they're wrong. We should be showing these people where they're wrong and uplifting, not nitpicking because of how you pronounce a name or how you say a word or what word you use. These are all things that cause divisions. And same thing, like jokes and stuff like that. Like, I get it. There's jokes that shouldn't be said, yes. But some jokes are just, for laughs, like innocent jokes. And then people will get offended because, you're just making jokes for people to laugh, and it's not hateful, not pointed directed at anybody, nothing. And people will still come and attack. And it's like, there's people denying Messiah. Why aren't you over there talking to these people? Like, I see it every day. Anyways, I digress. Before I get too into it, I start babbling. Alright. So, verse 20 in chapter 97. Woe to you, obdurate in heart, who commit crime and feed on blood. Whence do you feed on good things, drink, and are satisfied? It is not because our Adonai, El Elyon, has abundantly supplied every good thing upon earth. Or is it not? Excuse me. To you there shall not be peace. Woe to you who love the deeds of iniquity. Why do you hope for that which is good? Know that you shall be given up into the hands of the righteous, who shall cut off your necks, slay you, and show you no compassion. Woe to you who rejoice in the trouble of the righteous, for a grave shall not be dug for you. Woe to you who frustrate the word of the righteous, for to you there shall be no hope of life. Woe to you who write down the word of falsehood, and the word of the wicked, for their falsehood they record, that they might hear and not forget folly. To them there shall be no peace, but they shall surely die suddenly. Excuse me. Chapter 98. Woe to them who act impiously, and laud and honor the word of falsehood. You have been lost in perdition, and have never led a virtuous life. Woe to you who change the words of integrity. They transgress against the eternal Torah, and cause the heads of those who are not sinners to be trodden down upon the earth. In those days you, O righteous, shall have been deemed worthy of having your prayers rise up in remembrance, and shall have deposited them in testimony before the angels, that they might record the sins of the sinners in the presence of El Elyon. In those days the nations shall be overthrown, but the families of the nations shall rise again in the day of perdition. In those days they who become pregnant shall go forth, carry off their children and forsake them. Their offspring shall slip from them, and while suckling them they shall forsake them. They shall never return to them, and never instruct their beloved. Again I swear to you, sinners, that crimes have been prepared for the day of blood, which never ceases. They shall worship stones, and engrave golden, silver, and wooden images. They shall worship in pure ruach, devils, and every idol, in temples, but no help shall be obtained for them. Their hearts shall become impious through their folly, and their eyes blinded with the fear of their hearts. In their visionary dreams shall they be impious and superstitious, lying in all their action, and worshipping a stone. Altogether shall they perish. Don't worship false idols. That's the problem. Everywhere today there's all these idols and statues and this and that. And it's crazy. But in those days blessed shall they be to whom the word of wisdom is delivered, who point out and pursue the path of El Elyon, who walk in the ways of righteousness, and who act not impiously with the impious. They shall be saved. So it's saying, don't go hanging out with these sinners and do what they do. Woe to you who expand the crime of your neighbor, for in Sheol shall you be slain. Expanding the crime of your neighbor, meaning, false witnesses, expounding. Woe to you who lay the foundation of sin and deceit, and who are bitter on earth, for on it shall you be consumed. Woe to you who build up your houses by the labor of others, every part of which is constructed with brick and with the stone of crime. I tell you that you shall not obtain peace. Woe to you who despise the extent of the everlasting inheritance of your forefathers, while your souls follow after idols. For to you there shall be no tranquility. Woe to them who commit iniquity and give aid to blasphemy, who slay their neighbor until the day of the great judgment. For your glory shall fall. Malevolence shall he put in your hearts, and the ruach of his wrath shall stir you up, that every one of you may perish by the sword. Then shall all the righteous and the holy remember your crimes. There's a whole lot, and Enoch is just packed full of a lot. And this is a thing I see a lot as well. There's a lot of excuse me, a lot of accusations cast, and people quick to throw somebody else under the bus. And tread carefully is all I could say there. I've had many accusations cast at me, and I tell them this every time. I'm like, you're casting a lot of accusations, and then I'll ask questions, please show me this or that, and 100% of the time, they won't answer the questions. They'll make more accusations, and then think you're getting upset at them, when all you do is ask a question to get context. Anyways, it's a war zone. Like, people will call you out and they've never even met you. That's the whole thing. Tell you you're full of hate and have no love when they've never even met you. Think of that. Like, those are the people this verse is talking about. People who don't know you. They'll know you for like a second and just make accusations and judgments, and it's insane. We should be loving in all ways, especially to our brothers and sisters. We shouldn't take sides with someone against our brothers and sisters, which I see a lot of as well. There's people who take sides against their brother or sister, and it's like, and then you try to point it out, and they don't want to see they're wrong. They just want to, they play the narcissist card, and they're the victim and you're the bad guy. And it's like, hey. Yeah, and another thing, Facebook, they're starting to ask people, certain people, I haven't been asked this, but I've seen it I've seen it a few times. That people have been getting asked, do you think your friend here is a extremist? So, again, like, people who don't even know you can just label you as an extremist. And that's dangerous. Honestly, it's dangerous. Just because you make some kind of post on Facebook or social media or whatever, they're going to label you an extremist. It's getting dangerous and even more of a war zone. Just be careful, is all I'm saying. I'm gonna start being on Facebook less myself. I want to really just use it to promote my channel here. But yeah, it's it's getting dangerous. Especially if you're someone who has kids or something, and then just some random person can be like, "Oh yeah, this guy or gal is, I think they're an extremist." Next thing you know, yeah, terrible, terrible. It's really frightening, honestly. Anyway, but do not fear. Yahweh, your Elohim, is with you. Anyway, let me continue. I've rambled quite a bit. My apologies. But so chapter 99, this will be the last one for this evening. In those days shall fathers be struck down with their children in the presence of each other, and brethren with their brethren shall fall dead, until a river shall flow from their blood. For a man shall not restrain his hand from his children, nor from his children's children. His mercy will be to kill them. Nor shall the sinner restrain his hand from his honored brother. From the dawn of the day to the setting of the sun shall the slaughter continue. The horse shall wade up to his breast, and the chariot shall sink into its axle, in the blood of the sinners. That was quite a short one, but alright, that last verse it hits home a little bit, my blood brother, just the other week, we kind of got into it a little bit, and I was trying to be peaceable. I was trying to share the word with him, and I was trying to share with him. It's a long story, really, but we got into it, and now we're not talking. And it's what the scriptures say, brother against brother. And it's really sad, because it was, again, what I was explaining earlier, many assumptions. And someone that lives 2 states away, and they try to dictate your life. Anyway.
I want to show you guys something. This is a pink rock. It has something inside, and of course it's made out of plastic.
Yeah.
Because there's a line on it.
Yeah, they're from the fish tank.
And I got 4 each right now.
So yeah.
4 each.
Yeah, and the whole thing about the Facebook thing, I think that's them trying to crack down from the government cracking down on them for violating freedoms of speech and such. I'm ready just to go out to the wilderness. It's getting really bad, and I'm ready. I'm gonna be ready here soon, just to go out to the wilderness. I want to try and find a Torah community, at least, or build one myself, but that's hard. And I'm struggling financially right now as it is. It's hard. Speaking of, if you would feel led to donate or anything, I have my PayPal link is on my if you're watching from your desktop or laptop, it'll be right there on my banner on my homepage, or it'll be on the information page on your cell phone if you're watching from a mobile device. Anything would be appreciated, but if not, it's okay. It's hard. Hard times. Anyways, thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you have a blessed rest of your evening.
Goodbye.
And for those of you in the States, I know it's the 4th, so there's going to be a lot of booming and banging outside. I don't really recommend celebrating a country that cares nothing for us. But I take Callan out to see the fireworks. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah, and we're suppose we're gonna go on the roof and watch fireworks everywhere.
But I always explain to him how, we don't follow traditions of men, and we don't follow pagan holidays. It's very important.
And I hope you had a great video.
Me as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys continue enjoying it. After the book of Enoch, I'm going to be doing the letters of Paul. And we're going to be going over them line by line, verse by verse, very thoroughly, to show how he is a true apostle and how many take his words out of context. And when you start to toss out Paul's letters, that leads to tossing out the New Testament, which leads to tossing out the Messiah. It never fails. It never fails. It might not happen like that. It's a gradual process. Sometimes it takes years, but sometimes it doesn't. But everyone who I've seen take the path of denying Paul and tossing out his scriptures because people twist them out of context, they end up denying Messiah. And it's a sad road. And then, I've been doing this for years, and I've talked to many people who've been down that road. And I start talking to them from the second they start denying Messiah or Paul's writings, all the way until they start denying Messiah. And then by then, it's really hard to talk to them because they just don't want to listen to anything you have to say. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy flat plane we live in.
Yep.
Anyways.
And we'll see you guys in the next video of
We will. Thank you all for joining me. Have a blessed evening and a blessed week.
Yep, and we'll always make a brand new Yahoo video.
Yes, of course. Thank you all, and shalom.